What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of All Things Entrepreneur, where we shine the light on the blind side of entrepreneurship. I'm your co-host, Jessica Myers.
And as your co-host, Errol J. Allen.
How you feeling today?
I am blessed and highly favored. How about yourself?
Oh, I stay living the dream.
Awesome. Speaking of living the dream, we have a dynamic, impactful. I mean, the dude holds so many titles and just like accolades of what he's done, from prison yards, school yards, world journeys. The list goes on and on. Huge impact on my life. Literally a direct mentor to me. Only person on planet Earth who holds a title, business coach, from my lips, Mr. Andre Norman. How you doing?
What's up, man?
How you living, good sister?
How you feeling?
Okay.
Welcome.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Salute the queen.
How you feeling today, good sir?
I'm good, man. They woke me up, man. So I woke up, and every day I wake up, I got a real basic premise.
Mm-hmm.
Who can I help today?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the process of helping some people.
Awesome.
So I'm living my purpose.
I was like, you definitely, when they talk about a person by how they make you feel, you've left an impression not only with me, like I said, I met you last year, Errol, and a couple other people that you've impacted from inside the prisons and even outside. Was that your vision of what you started out with, like making that type of national and global impact?
When I grew up, people make impressions on you. When I went to prison, people make impressions on you. There's people you remember and people you forget. It's that simple. So when Michael Jordan was playing with the Bulls, he left an impression. We remember Michael. We remember Scotty. We remember Horace. Then it starts getting tricky. You know what I'm saying? I can name the whole team personally, but then you say the Celtics. I remember Larry Bird. I remember Kevin McHale. I remember Robert Parrish. Then it starts getting tricky.
Yeah.
Tom Brady. Who were the rest of the people? It starts getting tricky. You say, so what happens is you can be the Tom Brady or you can be the left guard. You can be Michael Jordan, or you can be the fifth starter that nobody remembers. I don't want to be the fifth starter nobody remembers. So people remember authentic people. They don't remember followers.
I got you.
Awesome. So Dre, let's just take it back, man. I mean, when we first met, even before that, actually, I want to go back before that. Obviously, you was in a different light at that time, and you was obviously in the big house. What tips, tricks, skill sets that you learned that you got from there and then applied that into the real world when you was obviously back out?
The things that I learned in prison, a.k.a. the big house, he's from the 60s, is every moment counts.
Mm-hmm.
Take nothing for granted. Do real assessments and analysis on each individual person. And where I come from, if somebody's on your team and they're not functioning correctly, it could get you killed. If somebody's on your team and not functioning correctly, it could get you extremely hurt, get you locked down. Bad things happen when people mess up in jail. Because you have 2,000 prisoners in the building, criminals, violent people in most instances, because I'm in Max, who are on the hunt. Everybody's on the hunt. And everybody's walking around on the hunt, and they're looking for the weak link for the day. You might not have been a weak link yesterday, but because your mom's sick or your sister called you the bad news or it's your daughter's birthday, you're not focused, whatever your thing is, or you're off focus and your job is to watch his back. So you're both exposed. So paying attention, and it's not wrong for you to be going through something, but it's wrong for you not to communicate it and him not to support you through it so you stay healthy and you stay strong. And in prison and in the free world, there's two words: projected weakness and projected strength. Projected weakness invites aggression. Projected strength invites respect.
Ooh. How did you earn your respect? Because I heard some of your, interviews and things like that, but how did you earn your respect?
The way I earned respect is the opposite of what you probably think. I was in a dorm in Pennsylvania in USP Lewisburg, and they were raping people. First night I got there, a guy got raped. So the next day I went out and said, yo, man, what's all that about? Man, what's all that? And they're like, that's what they do here. I'm like, well, why did they pick him? They said he was weak. I said, well, how did they know he was weak? Oh, he projected weakness. I said, well, what's projected weakness? It's how you stand. It's how you talk. It's how you respond. It's how you move. And he told me, and he walked off. And the definition he gave, I had a lot of that in me. So I was paranoid. I was like, whoa.
You was like, that's everything I would have done in said scenario.
No, it's not so much what you do, it's who you are.
Okay.
So if you're too friendly, if you talk too much, if I list a list of attributes, and a lot of those attributes you have, And that's what they consider projected weakness. You're like, oh, shit, that's me.
Okay.
So am I projecting weak? So I started working on getting rid of those attributes every single day, all day, out of fear. I am not going to come on here and play tough guy. Out of fear of not being attacked, I worked on my weakness attributes, getting rid of them. And then once I got rid of them all, you know what's left? Projected strength. I didn't go try to be strong. Some dudes hit the weight pit and they go make knives and they try to get all this guerrilla stuff going. I got to projected strength by working on my projected weakness out of fear.
Wow. Because like you said, that translated to business to help you read people.
100%. When you're in prison, you're standing, I'm in Terre Haute, Indiana, USP. You walk in a unit, it's 2,000 people in this building. Somebody walks up and starts talking to you because you're brand new. Is he trying to set you up? Is he trying to kill you? Is he trying to rape you? Is he trying to rob you? Is he trying to maneuver you? What's his angle? I don't know you. So everything has to have a purpose. What is your angle? I got like 3 seconds to figure out your angle, or it could be bad for me. So I got really good at reading people's intentions, their body language, their movements, their capacities. What's your breaking point? I mean, before I give you an assignment, I need to know, can you carry it out?
Yeah.
Because if I give you an assignment, you go down and you crash out, then it's gonna spin back on me.
Yeah.
So you have to be really good at assigning people tasks and reading people's intentions when they come to you. That's just day-to-day prison life.
And it's so interesting because you were traveling internationally and you just came back from Africa. And when I learned a lot being in the safari, did you find a lot of these parallels by watching, some of the animals in the safari?
I stayed my ass in the motherfucking truck.
So you didn't see some
I got pictures with lions.
Yeah.
No, the lion was like from here to there. He was close enough. I asked the man, can he get me? He was that close. He said, technically, yes. Because I was, breaking the rules. If we're in the truck, they have big windows, but they're shaped where they can't get in. You could see out clearly, but they can't really get in. So when the lion looks, he says to himself, I can't get through that window. It's not the right size or the right shape, so he doesn't jump. I'm sitting on top of the thing. The hatch pops up. You can look out. But I climbed out, and I'm sitting on the top back of the roof, exposed to the lion. If he wanted to, he could have jumped. You ever see a cat jump and climb up?
Yeah.
He could have just jumped and climbed up and ate me. The reason I didn't think he was going to do it, he had 2 baby cubs with him. And he was kind of like more watching the cubs. And we weren't moving towards him. But he could have literally just jumped. And I'm thinking to myself, I got to slide down.
But it goes back to the story you just mentioned, how if you're not on your job,
yeah, I'm watching every
the
muscle
mom
twitch.
cub is watching. She's watching her cubs, so that's where she can't get off her job, or that would bring danger to them.
Yeah, I'm watching every twitch that thing does. It was great to see, but and I didn't go play. I saw some rhinos. I saw some zebras. It was all cool, right? But the lion was the one.
Oh yeah, that's the king.
So let's translate to the stuff you do in business and whatnot today. So I remember actually a personal story because, again, we spent a lot of time together. I remember we went to St. Louis, and I think he was the 3rd biggest financial firm. He was a client for yours, and you was like help mentoring his son.
Yeah.
How did that conversation even come into play? How did that deal even transpire? Because that spun off into a whole bunch of things that I got to personally witness, but I just want to know, how did that come initially?
What happens is everybody wants to get into the corporate sector. I want to be in the corporate room. I want to be with Visa, MasterCard, BlackRock, Best Buy. I want all these, Home Depot. I want to be in the room. McDonald's, Burger King. I want to be in the room. What is your value? What is your value offer? If you have a basic value offer, then I'll pass. What gets me into those rooms, because it's you, I won't speak, is my ability to help their loved ones. So if you own said company, Fortune 500, Fortune 100, $1 billion plus company, and you're running it, you can get the best of the best with a 20-year track record and proven results, which is not me, or probably not the people who are trying to get in who can't get in, because you have to build that 20-year track record or be part of a firm with a 20-year track record for that company to do business with you. They don't take chances. Mm-hmm. What happens is all them staff and all the senior execs in the C-suite have kids, have wives, and unlike people believe, rich people's kids have problems too.
Yeah.
But where do you go if your kid's on drugs? Where do you go if your kid's depressed? Where do you go if your kid is bullied? Where do you go if you're having issues, your wife is having issues? Andre's a therapist. Andre does interventions. I do drug interventions, suicide interventions. I do counseling and therapy, and I'm really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I did it in prison. I did it in the hood, so I'm really good at it. So these folks in these spaces will hire me to go work with their kids or their loved ones, and that's my entry in. But once I'm in, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
There's getting in the room, and there's staying in the room.
Yep.
So I get in through the value add of I can help your loved one stay alive or do better. That gets me in the room. And once I'm in, I'm a welcome guest. And I'm in at a whole nother space than a consultant.
Yeah.
So I'm at the kitchen table.
Yep.
I'm at the house. So I'm at the beach house. I'm there.
Yeah.
And I get to see the personal side of people. If you make personal friends with people,
now you hanging out in the room, and so the room becomes, hey, we're friends versus.
And rich people don't like hanging out with poor people in a sense of, not like they have a thing against poor people, amongst their friend group. So if we're all here in a friend group and hey, let's go to Switzerland. He can't go. Hey, we're going to rent jets and go to such in Seattle. He can't go. Hey, let's go invest in this new stock that came out. We're going to drop $500,000 a piece. He can't do it. He dampens the party. So when he comes around, we can't talk anything financial, which is all we talk because we all got money.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of like to sit around and talk about baseball.
Yeah.
And I actually know a couple guys who own baseball teams.
Yeah.
So you can't even talk baseball.
Exactly.
So what they'll do is level you up. They won't kick you out. They'll level you up.
Okay.
I had a friend tell me, I'm going to make you a millionaire. So I feel better. Because I was in a conversation one time with some friends. I was talking about going on a trip out of the country. They said, oh, where you staying? We've been here before. So I'm just going to get a $50 hotel room and just chill. But I crushed the whole conversation. These dudes are multimillionaires. And I'm talking about staying in a $50 hotel room. They tipped the taxi dude $100.
Okay.
I don't want to cut you off. Is it just so I'm on the same page? Was it that one room, the 7-8 people? Was that one?
It was not that
okay, because I thought it was that one.
That was my. Yeah, that's what
I was
there.
there.
My mentors.
Yeah.
You took the picture.
Yep.
You took the picture of me and my mentors. I have a board of directors in St. Louis, and he took the picture of us. But my friend, he pulled me to the side. He gave me $5,000. He said, go have a great time and enjoy yourself. And what he was really saying is, don't ever come in this circle again and talk about a $50 hotel room because it makes us feel bad. And if we don't do something about it, then we really feel bad. So what's going to happen is if you keep doing it, we're going to have to put you out the group.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's what he was saying without saying it.
I got you.
But they turned. They're going to help me get to where I'm going. I'm not going to get there overnight. But don't come into this circle, talk about a $50 hotel room. Please, ever again. He didn't say that. He literally put me aside and said, yo, here's $5, man. Go have a great time. Not a good time, a great time. They don't like to see their friends struggle.
Yeah.
And I'm deemed a friend now.
Yeah.
Because if I help your child, I help your loved one, and he's family too.
So let me ask you this. Do you, as far as from the entrepreneurial end, because a lot of times when people may not have and they are introduced to these circles, they're looking to come and they're like, cool, I need to charge for my services. But one of the things when you're around a group of people with money, like you said, they don't talk money. So how do you balance charging for your value that you do bring in that circle so that you can survive and get to that point and take advantage of the opportunities you have access to now?
Real simple. Short game, long game. You want to pay your rent or you want to have a retirement account? You're trying to pay your rent, put in a proposal, they'll pay it, you go home, they're on to the next. So oftentimes, I go long term. I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. He's like, Andre, I want you to design a training for my staff. Super rich guy. He's super famous. If I said his name, boom. He says, design a training for my staff. They seem to like you. They can learn from you, bang, bang, bang. He said, and don't forget to invoice me. And I had one of my mentees with me. Well, he said, the guy said to me, and you better invoice me. I said, cool. Mentee says, yo, Dre, what you going to charge him? What do you charge him? I said, what would you charge him? He was like, 50,000 sounds like a good number, and he tried to justify it. So I'm going to charge him nothing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the work. At the end of doing the work, he's going to call me because he's going to find out that I didn't invoice them. He's going to say, Dre, I told you to invoice me. What happened? You family. I can't charge my family. Take this. It's all good. We're going to take what I did for your staff. We're going to back end it and send it to your list and sell it. And we'll take a percentage to that. But I don't need your money. We'll get their money. So, but the thing is, his list is like 4 million people.
Yeah.
So I could charge 50,000 on the front end, or I can sell this program with him to his list of 4 million people. It becomes another product that he can sell. Now, I do it once or twice, and he resells it, repurposes it, and I make
way more from that.
My friend doesn't have to come out of his pocket.
Yeah.
And it comes from the list.
So that's how you talk about value on value on value. What were you about to say?
I've personally witnessed this happen, and it's amazing. It's just amazing to see how he does it.
50,000 sounds like a good number.
It do until you.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at, he has a list of 4 million people. So if we sell it to his list of 4 million people, let's say the price point's $1,000, what percentage you get is sales is going to far exceed $50,000. And the other part is, it doesn't cost my friend. Do you charge your friend for gas? You say, Errol, give me a ride to the airport. Do you charge him for gas?
No.
Should he charge you for gas? No. Imagine if Errol gave you a ride to the airport and said, I need $10 for gas. Not because I need $10, but because I drove you. It's going to ruin the relationship. Like, man, I thought this dude was my friend. He's going to charge me $10 for gas, then we must not be friends. So when I charge him this money, then we must not be friends. So I'm going to do what business is. Let the people outside pay for it. And you keep the money in your pocket. And you're going to make more money.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you said, that's vision for short-term versus long-term.
Retirement versus rent.
So let's talk about one of the long-term plays that I know you did. The prison reform programs in South Carolina, Lee County, and even some of the ones you did out here. How did those conversations go?
If you can solve problems, you'll get paid. That's flat. And the greater the problem you can solve, the more money they'll pay you. So heart specialists make a lot more money than, foot doctors, because it's a critical mass there. People die versus people walk funny. So anesthesiologists get paid because if they mess up, you die.
Oh, yeah, for real.
They're paid hard. But it's like a 3 or 4 year course. And you can spend $500,000 learning how to do the damn thing. So I have a skill set where I understand prisons and prisoners and violent prisoners and staff, good staff, bad staff, corrupt staff, honest staff, Christian staff, Muslim staff. I understand the ecosystem of prison. So when there's an issue in prison, they had a situation in South Carolina, riot happened, 7 brothers died, 30 brothers got wounded, a lot of staff got traumatized. They locked the entire prison system down. They're like, well, how do we fix this? And for 5 months, they couldn't come up with a fix. So everybody's locked in their cell 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 5 months. And there was a lady named Nina Staley. She says, I found a guy, and he can fix this. They said, who? They said, his name's Andre Norman. He's from Boston, blah, blah, blah. And they said, no. And she refused to accept no. And she finally convinced him to let me come in. I took 2 homies with me, Big Dom, my man C, and we went down to South Carolina. And we went into the prison. We got them to open the doors, and we talked to 8,000 prisoners over 6 days. No fights, no drama, no retaliation. Everything was smooth. Because when I spoke to them, I spoke to them, not at them.
At them, yeah.
And they understood instantly that I got them.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't say what I was saying without having lived it at the level they're moving at.
Yeah.
Not just I was in jail. I was in these saying, I've been in riots. I've been in solitary. I've been cased up in jail. I've been all these things. So I'm speaking from a position of realness and authenticity. They connected. The commissioner says, you're the guy. And he gave me charge to come down and run my own. He said, what can we do? So I picked a unit. He gave me a unit. And I got 62 men from around the state that were locked up. They were leaders and brought them into one unit. People say they'll never work. They're going to kill each other in 2 seconds. That unit's still running 5 years later. Shout out to Brian Sterling for standing up, being the director of SCDC, and whatever you want to say about him, he went out on a limb because he wanted people to be better, and he did something different. It is so easy to do the same thing. He did something different. Because
I heard you say, expounding further on the story, like you said, you went in, and the first thing you said was, I'm the person who let you out.
Yeah, dude came out of his cell, was like, yo, man, who are you? Some motherfucker got your cell door open. Let's talk. They're like, all right.
Because you've been in for 5 months.
Yeah, you've been locked in that cell for 5 months. Now let's talk. And we would go to units, and most speakers would say, sit down, let me talk to you and give you this message. They came out their cells. I said, yo, jump in the shower, Call your moms. Hurry up. Get over here so we can get this done. Because you're not going to keep a man locked in himself for 5 months without access to the phone or a shower and think he's going to sit still for 40
shower
minutes.
for 5 months?
5 months. Bird bath, they call it. So, but when
Okay.
I understood, I'm like, yo, come on, let's make this fast. They're like, oh, he's working with us, not working against us. He's
Because
not
you
worried
already knew the needs.
dude, you locking in for 5 months, you humming. You humming. You probably ran out of deodorant, ran out of soap, ran out of toothpaste, because ain't no canteen coming.
Yeah.
Nobody has 6 months worth of soap and toothpaste in their cell.
Yeah.
So, just to speak to the testament of work he does. So everything you hear, right? You would think that prison's probably a dangerous place to be, right? If you wasn't like,
Well, I mean, he said the rioting, so I would assume, yeah.
right? He had a group of entrepreneurs come in. I was one of them to speak to them. And when I tell you it was a safe space,
You
again,
felt safer there than you do down the street?
I mean, again, but it was a safe space though. I'm talking about I was comfortable enough to be like, I don't want to say unguarded, but like,
You need to be chaperoned.
yeah, I didn't need to be chaperoned. I could have real conversations with the people. They was eager to learn. I was like, what did you do to these men? And after everything you just heard, I'm over here thinking like, man, what's up? But no bad energy.
I was like, you can hold your own now. I
but-
mean, don't act
but
like
no-
you're coming in.
But it wasn't needed. It wasn't needed.
Yeah.
No bad energy, nothing. I was like, what effect could you have to have the worst of the worst come in and be so humble, open, willing to learn, want to engage, and really want to make a better difference for their own life?
Yeah.
I'm like,
And I was them,
mm-hmm.
so I understood why they're where they are mentally and what does it take to transfer to where I am mentally. And I just shared the keys to open the door from where they are to where they need to be. Now, this is a trick. This is a trick that people don't get. They think prison, one size fits all. You give me 62 leaders, it's different than 62 followers.
Mm-hmm.
They already have the capacity. They're already intelligent, articulate, leading, and doing their thing. They're just going in the wrong direction. They have all the skill sets necessary, except for the right roadmap. All I did was switch the roadmap.
Paradigm. Switch to
Whereas
paradigm.
if you give me 20 guys working in the kitchen or down in the yard or goofy people getting high all day, it'd have been crazy in there because they're like little kids bouncing off the wall. They can't sit still. So I didn't do anything to these men except for give them the roadmap. They walked it on their own.
I love that.
Testament, man. That's a testament.
But I knew I made it. I'm from Massachusetts. Shout out to Mass DLC, all my brothers in Walpole,
Mass
Norfolk,
brothers.
Old Colony, SECC, I'm saying Deer Island, Bill Ricker, Shirley, Gardner, I'm saying South Bay. That's where I come from. Come from Mass DLC. Ludlow, I was out there. Plymouth, made it down there. I'm saying, I think OCC is closed, but whatever. The commissioner of Massachusetts Correctional System, where I served 14 years, spent 2.5 in solitary, kicked out of the state 3 times, you name it, called me a few years ago, brought me back, gave me a huge check, 6 figures, and gave me keys and said, go in there. And I got to run the unit that I used to live in.
Wow.
Essex 1 for all y'all in Massachusetts. A1 for all you old timers from Massachusetts. Walpole, minimum end, Essex 1 was mine. And it was like, she went in and told them, we're bringing him back, giving him an office, giving him reign over this unit to go run it. They're like, you're giving who? She was like, he's the guy.
The guy who used to be here.
The guy who used to be here. The guy who knows this building. When we did the orientation and the training, one of the days they do a tour of the jail.
Yeah.
They let me skip that. See, he can do the tour better than you.
Yeah.
But when the commissioner of my home state commissioned me to come back and work into the unit I used to live in,
Yeah.
that's when I knew the world saw me in a different space.
How did that turn look entrepreneurially? Like, did you create the program and then, they knew to come to you for it? Or did you create the program through the relationship?
No. I create programs. I have the name for doing stuff. So this interview, you've never seen my work, but you heard about my work. He's seen some of the work. So you bring people in to your podcast that you've heard about. And they've had consistent message. Now, if there's somebody out there scamming, but making money, you're not going to invite them in here. Because the word is they're a scammer. So in corrections across the country and outside of the country, people know Andre Norman will show up. He will do the work. He will get you results. He will help make things better for the staff and the inmates and the families. And he ain't going to make a whole bunch of noise about it. He's just going to get it done. And that is the tag or title attached to Andre. He will show up and he will listen. He will stay within inside the rules and he will get it done.
Stay within the rules.
3 years was in South Carolina. None of my staff got caught bringing in drugs. None of my staff got caught bringing in phones. None of my staff got caught up having sex with anybody. None of my staff got caught up in anything like that. There's millions of dollars flowing through this prison every day, in every prison around the world. We got caught in none of that. So why didn't the criminals bring in drugs? Why didn't the criminals bring in phones? Because we're not here to make money. We're here to change lives.
You changed the mission.
That's simple. I make money other places. I made money there. They paid me to come. But the goal wasn't, I can't sell you a phone and say get better. Because now my message is counterfeit. So if I really want you to get better, I can either take the $2,000 for the phone, or I can say about your long-term well-being. So I said, if y'all want to help people, you can't take the money. You can't live on two sides of the fence. And integrity is everything. And when you deal with leaders, integrity is easy.
So I know we said from prison yard to schoolyard. There's one feat that always captured my eye, and I'm always like, let me get the backstory on this. You got an office. Well, I'm not sure you still currently have it. You have an office at Harvard, right?
Harvard Law School.
How did that come to play? How did that?
I was in prison. I'm in solitary. I made the decision that I wanted to not be a gang member, not be in prison. This is stupid. I'm the king of nowhere, as I used to say. So I said, I want to be free first. That's the first thought that you should have. But free, everybody goes home, everybody comes back. White, black, Spanish, cool, not cool, whatever. Free is the parking lot. Once you hit the parking lot, you've achieved your goal of freedom. So what do you do next? You don't know, because you only plan to get to the parking lot. And that's why you come back inside. I said I want to be successful because successful people don't come here, and I had to pick a school. Only school I knew the name of was Harvard University because I'm from Boston. So I picked Harvard as my destination. I started doing all the work I needed to do to get there. Got my GED, taught myself the law, went to mental health, went to counseling, went to therapy, went to school. You name it, I did. I went to NNA. I don't drink or smoke, but all my friends do. I need to communicate with. And I just kept doing the work, overturned my case on appeal.
Oh, wow.
I'm in the books. Commonwealth of Massachusetts versus Andre Norman. You can put it in Google. It'll pop up, and it'll say, indictment dismissed, case set aside, so ordered. It's on the internet. I come home, and I start doing the work. I started helping kids in the community, juvenile centers, schools, I'm saying churches, mosques, I'm saying temples. I'm everywhere just helping people. And then Ferguson happens. Michael Brown Jr. dies. So I'm in Ferguson doing work. The entire country, you name a black celebrity, they had went to Ferguson and got nothing done. Bar none. Every black celebrity in the country, from all different genres, pulled up in Ferguson, and for the most part, did not, when I say nothing done, stop the protest and make it safe.
Yeah.
That's done.
Actionable steps.
Not did you feed a family, not did you buy some jackets, not did you pay for lunch. Did you stop the riots and protests and make it better? When I went down there, I teamed up, and I got with some folks, some business folks from down that way, and we actually stopped the riots. And we took the 3 protesters, the mayor of Ferguson, the police chief of Ferguson, the man who ran for governor of Missouri, and an economist, and we flew them all to Harvard, and we had a symposium.
Wow.
And we sat down and had discussions on how do we fix Ferguson with the people. Not people who aren't from Ferguson, who aren't in the streets, who aren't directly affected. I had the principal people, the lead protesters, the lead economist, the man who's going to run the state, and the people who run the city. The man who ran the police force. They have to be at the table for change.
Yeah.
Everyone's having conversations with the wrong people at the table. I got the right people to the table, facilitated the conversation, and we facilitated peace and an understanding between them where they could still protest, but they weren't riots. There was no tear gas. There was no rubber bullets. Because the head police knew the head protester. What you gonna do, oops? We're gonna march this way, march that way, and we cool. Go do your thing. He tells the police, stand down, let them do their thing. I know that man, I trust him. He's gonna do what he said do. and we facilitated that peace. And on the back end of that, the same brother who came to Harvard, was a street protester that I helped mentor, he ran for state government, and he became a state rep for Missouri and for St. Louis/Ferguson. Now he's in the state house as a rep. And when he got to the state house as a freshman representative, so he's like the smallest guy on the list, the guy who went to Harvard with him, who was running for governor as a Republican, he picked up the phone. He called to the state house, to the head of the Republican Party, and Missouri's a Republican state. He said, that guy is my guy. He's okay. So now he's a freshman sitting in, I'm saying, with all the state reps, there's only a handful. The head Republican calls over to the Democratic head and says, yo, send me that guy.
Oh, wow.
They said, for what? He said, we want to see him. They sent him over. He gets into the office with the head of Republicans. He says, listen, Dave called, says, you're a good guy. We'll rock with you.
Wow.
And he was still a freshman, but by default, he became the lead person, for the most part, on the Democratic side, first term in.
Wow.
Because of relationships.
Yeah.
And the work that was done. So Harvard saw the work that I was doing on the ground, and they wanted to be a part of what I was doing. As much as I had wanted to be a part of them, come to find out they wanted to be a part of me.
Wow.
So Dr. Charles Ogletree, the gentleman who raised up Michelle and Barack Obama, brought me back to Harvard, gave me a fellowship, gave me an email, and gave me a desk.
Wow. That is so powerful because it's interesting. I'm seeing all these themes that are through your life. For one, what happens to you is happening for you, because it's like that inner working of learning people, studying people at the most angry, because that's what people are scared of, people in prison. And you're like, I've been inside. I am those people that are causing the havoc. And you understand this line of communication, because really it just seems
they're
like.
not causing havoc. They're speaking out their truth.
Yeah.
If I grew up a hurt child, and I did, a lot of my comrades grew up hurt children, and they did, we mask it with masculinity. We mask it with violence. We mask it with outrageous behavior. So
It's just hurt.
what that causes is hurt people hurting people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're people. When we say monsters and they're people. And they're people that had experiences. If you could understand their environment where some of these people grew up, you will understand completely why they act the way they act. If I could just take somebody and look at their environment and be like, yeah, I know why he's doing that. So if I told you Bill Gates' son went to Africa and gave away $1 billion to build orphanages, well, that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. Why? You never met the man, but he's Bill Gates' kid. They work for $150 billion. His father's a philanthropist. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense. Michael Jordan's son is a trust fund baby. He rides around in a brand new car, has a really nice house. He works if he feels like it. That makes sense. That's believable. If I told you Michael Jordan's son was homeless, like, nah, impossible. Because it doesn't fit the environment that he came from. If you take my brothers and sisters who are behind these walls, if you could actually go back to when they were 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, and look at their environment that they came from, where they are makes perfect sense.
Mm. Oh, wow.
We look at them now, but this is where they ran to. Where did they run from? And what did they run from? People run to the streets. They don't come from the streets.
Oh, okay.
So I know your day-to-day mission is obviously to wake up and help the next person, but what's the big picture goal you're targeting now? Because, I mean, we haven't even chipped the surface of, you've done a lot. We haven't even touched the surface of everything you've done. What's your big picture goal you're trying to get, or not even trying, that you will get done?
I've been traveling since 1984. It's my first trip out of the country. I went to Curacao probably 2 years ago, an island down in off the coast of Venezuela. I'm down there giving a speech. They paid my 25 racks. I flew to Curacao. I'm on the stage. I'm talking. Room full of people from the Netherlands because it's territory. I come off the stage. Lady in the front row calls me and says, listen, the president wants you to go speak at some prisons. So she calls the president of the country, gets me cleared, and I spend a week speaking in prisons. I'm in the Bahamas. Same thing happens. The prime minister clears the way for me to go speak in prisons. I pull up in the countries, Honduras, Costa Rica, Guatemala, the heads of the country find out that I'm there, and that's the solution, and they call me.
Wow.
I literally just got off the phone this morning with a country called St. Lucia. We're working out a whole plan for me to fly to St. Lucia and help St. Lucia handle this gang problem, education problem. And my goal, to answer your question, is I want to set up a training center. Whereas, because there's lots of brothers and sisters who have the temperament and the insight and the knowledge to do what I do. They just don't have the exposure and the lived experience at this level. They have the lived experience necessary, but not on this side of the line with the corporations and the government. I want to be able to teach that. So I want to just have how to be Andre, but you lessons. I can sit down with you and tell you what you need to do to sit in the room with the prime minister, to sit in the room with the president of the United States, to sit in the room with Congress, to travel around. I just came back from Kenya, and I was there for 4 days. And before I left, I heard 5 times, you have to come back and meet the president. When you come back, you're sitting with the president of the country, and we're going to talk, how do we make the country better?
Wow.
Our brothers have that capacity. Our sisters have that capacity. They just don't know how to execute on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you can go to a country, and by the end of 4 days, everybody wants you to meet the president of the country.
Yeah.
And they're going to make it happen. It's not like kind of sort of. I got invited to, by the end of the week, I met with the top construction company in the country, the top bank in the region, you're saying one of the top consulting firms in the country. And they're like, oh, you have to come back. These people are spending billions of dollars annually to improve. I went to one site, they had a $50 million housing project. They're like, Dre, how do we make it better? And we got more projects we want to do. It was $50 million to put up 4,000 houses, apartment buildings. The president wants to put up 250,000 units a year.
Wow.
So you divide that up. Do the math on that.
Yeah.
If 50 million is 4,000, how much is 250,000 units?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be part of that. Then before I left, literally, somebody called Richard Branson and was like, listen, they do a global summit around how to make the world a better place. And somebody said previously, well, we need some more people who need diversity, a.k.a. black people. And they was like, yo, you got to come to the summit with Richard Branson, sit down on the island, and we're going to we want you to teach us. World leaders will be there. You're going to teach. So this summer, I'm going to fly to Necker Island, have the opportunity to sit down with that group of people who have the ability, billionaires, to change cities, countries, and lives.
So what does your support look like? Because there's a lot of pouring out. But what is your support and how do you get fed?
The way it's designed is it's like a river that makes a combine go. You put the paddles in there and it spins, the river goes. What makes the river keep going? God. What makes the river keep going? Yeah. What makes the wind keep coming to push the little, what do you call them things? The windmills. So what makes the sun keep shining so the solar works? Why does solar work? Because the sun shines. Why does the sun shine? Because God said so. That's it.
So, and again, 3 things, but there's just so much we could talk about. But I'm shocked you did not ask. No, it's too late. It's too late. So when her business coach was here, I grilled him about how is Jessica as a student? How does that look like? She ain't asked not one question about, what's it like with this? It's too late now. I haven't brought it up. But
you want to talk about yourself?
No, I don't want to talk about that. She didn't bring it up.
So you brought it up.
I brought it up for her. But we can talk about it after this question. So I remember, and if I'm saying too much, you could just say let's skip it. But what
about what?
When I was in the circle, the room, 8 people.
Oh yeah, you can talk. Okay,
about that. So
people see what happens when you have personal friends. Like, listen, I ain't grab on no clicks. Like, dude, maybe call Dom.
That part.
That's why I said, let me get clearance.
Listen, there's, like I said, there's things that he knows about my life that's between us.
That's why I get clearance before. So
you got to be real careful. You be hanging out with people, telling them all your business, not all your business, and they go out and they want to get online on. That crushes my heart.
Yeah.
When I see grown men online talking about other grown men.
Yeah.
I know that dude.
Yeah.
I don't even go on Instagram. Somebody runs my Instagram for me. Sorry. Hurt your feelings. But I just had to be on. I was in the airport, and dude said, man, I reached out to some of the homies, and they said they don't know you or you weren't like that.
I saw that comment.
One, I've been home for 24 years. So unless the homie you're calling has 25 or better in, really, he should have 30 in. Because if he had 24 in, he was just walking in when I was walking out. But he was still in the county. So you need somebody with a minimum of 26 years in prison to even have met me in prison. Because you're going to do 2 years in the county before you get upstate. Full stop. So, and I've been home for 24 plus 2. That's 26 years. So if the guy you're talking to has not, and if he had 26 years and he was not nobody, he was brand new.
Yeah.
So he wasn't talking to me.
Yeah.
I'm a boss, whatever you want to call me. I'm that guy, one of the guys.
You're him.
You're walking in the door brand new, don't know your way to the library. So we're not having conversation.
Yeah.
So no, you don't know how I'm moving.
Yeah.
You barely find a library with a child hall. So you really got to find somebody with 30 years in prison that actually did time shoulder to shoulder with me.
And you know what's funny? When I saw that comment, because I know exactly what you're talking about, I'm like, you just don't know. Like,
No, it's okay though. But the guy you called, in fairness, the guy you called, if he has less than 30 years, and he probably doesn't know me. So what he told you was accurate. I don't know that guy. You know Dre? I never heard of that guy. Dude, you could have 20 years in prison, and you went in 4 years after I came home.
Yeah.
You could have 24 years in prison. You were still in the county when I went home. You just got arrested.
Yeah.
So the person he talked to, whoever put that post up, most likely, 100%, told him the truth. I don't know that guy. Never heard of that guy. There are NBA players who don't know who Dr. J is or what he did.
Yeah.
true.
There are NBA players who don't know the greats from the 60s and the 70s. So you're asking a guy who wasn't in jail before I got there to tell him about me. It's not going to happen. So what I do, when I see that stuff, I don't argue with people. I take some of the videos of stuff that I'm doing and have done since I've been home.
Link, yeah.
Here you go. Because I did it inside and I'm still doing it.
That's true. I saw the Venmo link response right after, nothing else. I was like, yeah.
Here you go. Listen.
Learn for yourself.
Here's a video of what I've done since I've been home that far exceeds whatever I said I did when I was inside. It's real easy to be a boss amongst your friends or dudes you grew up with. I got 20 homies from my hood and you got 10. That's easy. I'm walking into prisons in different countries. I was in 4 prisons in Kenya, Africa. And they stood up and saluted and they embraced me. I was in prison in Curacao. I'm in prison in Bahamas. I'm in prison in Sweden. I'm in prison in Oklahoma, Louisiana, where I'm not from. And they got love for me not because I'm a tough guy. I come to show them the way. So, bro, what his statement was probably true to him based on his experience and who he reached out to. But I don't have time to get mad at people on the internet.
Yeah. It's like, who got time?
I mean, I just happened to be in the airport and I saw it. My first response was F you. You don't know. My first thought was negative.
Yeah.
I still got issues.
Cause like ego come up. Ego come up like,
it wasn't issues. It's not ego. I got issues. There's a difference.
Well, egos protect yourself. It's literally a protection mechanism.
No. I'm not. He's not a threat to me.
Okay.
It's not a threat because if we sat down, right? If you go sit him right there, we have a conversation. We can have a conversation about. You can read my book. I didn't bring a copy of it. There's no violence in my book. I grew up in the hood. I got 15 felonies. I caught 8 cases in jail. I've been in solitary, been shipped out of 9 states. There's no violence in my book. I don't promote violence. I don't think you can teach people with war stories. That's just me. You can make money off it online, but you ain't going to teach anybody. So I don't teach war stories. I'll tell a funny joke. Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, I ran to jail and it's not hard. It wasn't easy doing that, but that's not really a war story. I went down in the cell, I busted dude in the head and that. I don't do none of that.
So let's take it back to the circle real quick, and then I'm gonna ask you some tactical questions.
She busy.
Our next guest is outside.
Tell him wait. Tell me you was late. That's what you tell him. Tell him you ran late, so they running late.
So I was just texting him, let him know.
Yeah, okay. Door closed. I think he figured it out.
Because last time he drove around.
Listen. Then he's a repeat guest. Then he should know you run late.
No.
Okay, let's talk about the circle.
I just had to tell him where.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you, Dre. You're such a.
I wasn't supposed to notice. She's like, shit. If I got calls. I got business. I shut my business down this afternoon to come talk to y'all.
No.
I don't want to hear that. I'm not even talking to you right now. I'm talking about you.
Okay.
What's the
question, most
bro?
authentic person you'll ever meet, Mr. Andre Norwood. So, the circle. I remember specifically this because this was a turn stage for your career as well. It was, we had a conversation, and I walked out. I had a mess up. I'll never forget the mess up because you didn't let me live it down for like a month afterwards.
I can see.
The truth, I don't remember what he did wrong.
I'm gonna tell you, and then I'm gonna segue to the question because I remember.
You should.
So we're in a conversation. Multi-millionaires, everyone's big hitters, like, on
Private
that
jets. He's a private jet guy.
Yeah, like big time hitters. So I had got a phone call. I'm wholesaling hard at the time, right? Yep, you. So I'm over here in the room at the table. Well, I'm standing, but I'm in the room. Everyone else is sitting. I'm standing. Everyone else is sitting, and I get a phone call
About $5,000 property.
and I said, "Excuse me, I gotta take this real quick." I walked outside.
You're in the room with 6 men, 3 of which have private jets. Own, not rent, own. Not no Uber thing. They own their own jets. And own companies, make millions and millions of dollars. And you went outside to talk about what? That could have waited. That could have waited.
So
if you lost that deal, you'd have been okay. Because what you missed was far more valuable than what you got.
Yeah.
So I walked back in the room. It was literally like 2 minutes tops. I walked back in the room, and this man's giving me the death stare. I'm like, oh, I messed up. I don't even gotta say nothing. I already know I messed up. That's the look.
Nigga, really?
That's the look. So the whole thing, we're talking, and I'm listening to everybody. I'm like intent, and mind you, I probably had another phone call. I didn't answer that phone call. That's just how, that's literally how his coaching went. I saw his face when I walked back inside, and I was just like, I fucked up. I fucked up.
Somebody better be dead. Better come in and say my mom died, something. Somebody just got hit by a truck. It was real close to me. Not a cousin. My brother got hit by a truck. Dad got hit by a truck. Better be immediate family.
But it's just like that unspoken, just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you're in the room. So
what happens is, I said it earlier, there's 2 things. There's getting in the room, then there's staying in the room.
Yep.
So if I'm those people, we're sitting here taking our time out to educate you on how to be successful, and you walk out of the room for a $10,000 phone call. Call it a $50,000 phone call. Call it a $100,000 phone call.
We're not up.
They'll say, no, something, you take your $100,000 because that's more important than what we're saying, and you go do that. And I can say that table, matter of fact, I was with one of them yesterday, John, I just showed you the picture of me doing a speech with the governor of Georgia.
Yeah.
One of the guys at the table set that up.
So that
from 6 years ago.
So that was my question I was
So
going to ask.
they're still rocking with me, and they ain't calling about him. They're like, where's your friend at?
My apologies, man, to everybody in the room if you was there. My apologies.
They're like, hey,
I
where's
was
your
young
buddy
and
at?
dumb.
Where's the guy that walked out on us? Literally. I was with John yesterday. He called me. This is friends. First, I'm doing great. I'm making a lot of money traveling around the world. My business hit a bump. My life hit a bump. I quit speaking and doing interventions. I went to selling real estate with Errol. That's why he was with me. They called me to St. Louis. They said, you need to come to St. Louis, and I brought him with me. They said, you help people. You're not a real estate salesman. You help people stay alive, help lives be better. We need you to relaunch that part of your life. And we're going to help you relaunch that part of your life. And they did. And they sat me down, and they started going over my taxes, my strategy, my assistance, how much time I'm spending with my son. They really dissected my life.
Wow.
I say this. At one point, I said to them, in like the third meeting you weren't there, I said, hey, I want my son to come live with me. They said, Dre, you can't do that. I said, why? They said, your job has you on the road 3 weeks out of the month. He's going to be home by himself. That's not good for your kid or you. So either you have to stop speaking or he can't live with you. That's the option.
Which decision?
He stayed with his mom. I couldn't, because if I stopped speaking, I stopped my income. So now I have no income. We're sitting in the house eating cereal together, talking about what's up. My kid goes to private school. He never stepped foot in a public school. So I realized that, and I wasn't in a financial position to shut down work to take him to live with me. But this is the type of conversation. They know my son. Yeah. They love my son. Yeah. It's not about who's this strange kid. They're like, you're not in a position to actually do that effectively. Yeah. If you bring your son here and leave him in the house with a nanny for 3 weeks out of the month, that's not parenting. Yeah. That's doing harm to your son. Let him stay with his mom and get your stuff together. And literally, he stayed with his mom till he was 18. He's doing a gap year this year, and he's staying with me this year. And I'm in a financial position where I can take the whole year off.
Yeah, wow. Wow, that's beautiful.
I take the whole year off, and he went to Kenya with me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
And he's gone a ton of other places. We went to Tulum. We went to Cabo San Lucas. We've been all over the States. We've been to, where else we go? He didn't come. He went to Colombia. Yeah. I'm saying we just went to Kenya. We're going to South Korea. We're going to Malaysia. We're going to the Philippines. We're going to Thailand. He said to me, this is my son, I love the kid. He said, I want to go see Taiwan. It's the country. I'm like, why? He says, well, they're beefing with China, and China might take them over like Russia's doing with Ukraine, and they might be gone in 3 years. So I want to see them while they're in their current existence.
Yeah.
He's a political scientist like his mom.
Wow.
I was like, Taiwan? I don't care about Taiwan. But my kid's like, I want to go see Taiwan so I can see the history, what it is before they beef with China. Like, Ukraine will never be the same. So if you want to see the Ukraine, what it's going to be in 2026 will not be what it was in 2018.
Yeah.
It's going to be a whole different country post-war.
Yeah.
So if China and Taiwan get into a war, it'll become a different space.
Yeah.
So, but we're just going to, for the next 2.5 months, fly around the world. We get backpacks. Get some backpacks, put stuff in it. We're just going to fly country to country.
Do you ever see yourself handling like that type of resolution? If you've been able to handle it at this level, do you see yourself being in? You're already called in by political leaders.
That's different. See, most every war, if not every war, has been fought over land. So I can't convince a country to not want more land. I'm good, but then there's reality. You know what I'm saying? How do you convince a country to not want more land? It's tough. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying I can't do peace accords and people and stuff, but leaders want more land. Yeah. That's the one thing they'll never make more of, unless you're in Dubai.
Because I was like, you remind me of Bob Marley and how he was able to quell a lot of disagreements and things like that.
Disagreements are different than land grabs.
Okay.
So you have to understand. I'm not saying I can't be in the room. And I wouldn't not go in the room, but it's a different animal when you start talking about countries wanting land and resources, minerals, and materials. So oil, gas, and mining is real. You know what I'm saying? So there's reasons people grab land for a multitude of reasons. So America has land all over the globe. Mm-hmm. The British colonized half the damn country, half the world, for a reason. And you pick locations for a reason. And usually it's to take the minerals from that land.
Yeah.
So I love how I didn't even get to ask the question, but you already answered the question I was going to ask. And in terms of your turning point to support you had at that time, the council, but you already answered it. You answered it. No, you did it.
My guy, John, who's one of the council members, I meet with them I used to meet with them like quarterly, then it went down like twice a year, now it's once a year, now we're good. I'm back full-fledged. They're like, yo. But I still talk to them all individually. John called me probably like 6 weeks ago. He says, I'm speaking in Georgia. There's a group of people. They don't have a lot of money, but I'm going to get you added, I'm not going to get you your full fee, but I'm going to get you something. It was good money. So I said, cool. He calls the people. He says, add my man. That's it. He's like, yo, you have to have this dude on your show. You have to be on the platform. So they added me, and I went. It was Wednesday of this week. Spoke. I think it was like 70 people in the room, all multi-millionaires, probably like 3 billionaires. And now I'm literally going fishing with 2 of them tomorrow. And I probably have 5 deals lined up from that room. So what happens is, don't get stuck on your speaking fee. Speaking will get you in the room. If you have skills and offers beyond your speaking just gets you in the room. Speaking is never the money. It's never the money. It's the money it's the thing that gets you in the room. Then once you're in the room, if you have value, then it goes. So the girl, Caitlin Clark, she gets $75,000 to play basketball. But she gets $28 million to wear basketball sneakers.
Mm-hmm. Endorsements.
Basketball got you in the room. Now you get the checks.
Okay.
So she's not beat like, she was getting NIL money, 5, 3, 4, 5 million.
Yeah.
But now, as a WNBA player, basketball is only going to pay her $75,000. But she's making 20, 30, 40 times that for being on the court.
Yeah.
So you got to pay me I've gone places for free. I've gone places, you know what I'm saying, for half a fee or whatever, if the situation makes sense.
Yeah.
So in closing, because I know we're probably pressed on time, I want to get your perspective, being a communication and speaker expert, tips and tricks for entrepreneurs that want to, be a speaker, public speaker, communications. That's a vast thing, field. What can they do to see success?
See success is you need to join a community of speakers. There's NSA, National Speakers Association. There's Toastmasters. saying, and there's I know Jeremy Anderson has a program, ET has a program. There's tons of people with speaker programs. Lisa Nichols has I saw her in Detroit. She good people. Yeah. There's a lot of programs out there. And they go at different price ranges. It's like if you want a pocketbook, you can go to Walmart, you can go to Louis. They all do the same thing. But the difference is, this is the difference. They all do the same thing. The pocketbook from Walmart doesn't do anything different technically than the pocketbook from Louis. The only thing the Louis pocketbook does is give you status. It doesn't hold your stuff better. It gives you status. But in this case, you just want to get good. So you can come learn from, you can go to Les Brown, who's a good friend of mine, and learn from Les Brown. You can go to ET, learn from ET. You go to Jeremy, learn from Jeremy. You can go to Lisa, learn from Lisa. You can go to the guy at Toastmasters, who's not technically anybody, or NSA. It doesn't matter who you learn from. So if you pay $100,000, you pay $500. Get the information, and then let your true self shine. When I first started, I didn't have a coach. My first speech was for $500 and a plane ticket. Now, that's not even a real number. I'm saying my flights cost more than that.
Yeah.
But the baseline is get in the community, or even create your own community of people who want to do something. And paying more doesn't make it better. If you're going to pay somebody a huge sum of money for speaker training, make sure that they're getting you on stage in paid speeches, not just on stage. So if I'm going to give you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, I need paid speeches attached to that, not just how to speak, because you can go to YouTube and learn how to speak for free. Yeah. You can go to Toastmasters and learn how to speak for free. So paying somebody an exorbitant amount of money isn't really, to learn how to speak isn't the thing. Now, if they're going to teach you how to run your business, set up your LLC, get in the door, how to do contracts, how to do pitches, how to do follow-up, how to do your CRM, all the things that speaking business entails, that's worth whatever it's worth. But if they're just going to teach you how to tell your story, you should already know it. I can help you how to tell your story in 5 minutes.
Yep, true story.
5 minutes, I can help you tell you. Okay, tell me a little about yourself.
I'm an entrepreneur, developer, started in media, got into real estate, and I help people network and make deals happen.
What about you in high school? Family, sisters, brothers?
Got a sister, got a brother. In high school, I was always an overachiever. I did tech, and then
Parents?
I did, mother, father. It's just celebrated 43 years.
Okay, and they live what part of Atlanta?
Southwest Atlanta.
Good afternoon. My name is Jessica. I'm going to share with you today how you can become an entrepreneur and why you should become an entrepreneur. When I was a young girl going to Eastside High School, I used to always be high achiever, great grades, going hard, helping people, and that was just who I was. And what I want you to understand is I need you to remember who you were in high school. If you were the shy kid, it's okay. You was a kid who got bullied, it's okay. You was a jock or the athlete, it's okay. Just remember who you are, because it's still who you are. And that's going to transcend, and it's going to come out into any presentation you give. So as a high achiever and a person who was deemed popular, it was fun to be who I was. And then when I watched my parents live together, I'm saying my entire life, and feeding to me and my sister every single day, it encouraged me that this is what love looks like. I'm saying, and this is what support looks like. I remember my father sitting down with me on a Saturday and explaining to me all the things I need to understand about skateboarding. And he took so much time to teach me something so minute that it just taught me a work ethic and a level of detail that mattered. And I followed her pattern. I followed his pattern. And my mom, she would get up, and she was a housewife. I see all the stuff on TV about boss chicks and running the world. My mother ran our household. And her job was really simple: make the 2 best kids that she could. That's it.
Oh, wow.
And she helped me and my sister understand what it meant to be a wife, a mother, a woman, and a black woman in this country. And how she could achieve, and what she spelled success was a happy husband, a safe home, and loving kids. That's what she told me success was. It wasn't a bag. It wasn't a scarf. It wasn't a trip. And we stayed on that track, and I grew, and I learned. And when I left my house and I was going to college, I've been exposed to drugs. I've been exposed to boys. I've been exposed to negativity. But I've been exposed to love and the right way to do things. And when I stepped into college, I stepped in with a mission and a purpose and a level of detail on how to achieve what I wanted to get done. And I went through college, and I achieved that. I watched some of my friends fall off. I met some new friends who couldn't stand up. And I tried to help them as best I could, but I refused to let them get me off my path. And as I sit here today, go like this. No, that thing, hold that up. My mom taught me how to get one of these, how to be one of these. I'm a great wife because I had a great mom who was a great wife. I didn't learn from Instagram. I didn't learn from TikTok. I learned from a great wife who happened to be my mother. So shout out to Mom.
For Mother's Day? You about to make me cry. Oh, my gosh. Because that was just so beautiful. Like,
So
you know?
I can, in 30 seconds,
Oh, wow.
tell your life story.
Yeah.
So you don't need to pay me whatever amount of money. That is the easiest thing to be able to tell a story. Storytelling, I'm a professional at, if you can't tell. Give us some tissue. So that is easy.
Yeah.
That's the easy part. I can do that for anybody in record time. You give me 5 things, boom, here's the story. And I can put you on stage and they'll clap for you. And a close could be, I want you to be successful. If you're doing helping women get men, if you're helping women join entrepreneurship and help women be better, I want to teach you the same way my dad taught me about skateboarding. I want to show you the details. I want to show you that it matters. I want to show you how to take your time. So I need you to join us in this community and let me help you the way I was helped. Firsthand, with love and outcomes and accountability. And if you don't think you have time to sign up now, if it's too expensive for you, the question you ask yourself is, can I afford not to learn the right way? There's a lot of ways to learn, but the right way is the way you want. And I teach the right way.
I love that.
So, I mean, if you want to land the plane and sail, the CRM is hard. Marketing is hard. Advertising is hard. Follow-up is hard. Planning, strategy, calendars is hard. The AI stuff is hard. The speaking part is simple. So I can teach anybody in seconds. If you could have just you have that, you run that tape back. That's your speech.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You have
I was scared to put my phone out to take the notes, but I will definitely be watching it.
You have a $25,000 or $30,000 keynote speech in seconds.
Yeah. Wow.
So if you're really trying to help people, the money's not in helping them tell their story, helping them run the business. That's a fee. I help you tell your story in 2 seconds.
Okay.
And this is the man that I met at the humble age of 21.
When I met Errol,
who shaped me up.
I came to do real estate.
How did 22?
I came to, there was a real estate community that I was invited to speak for. So I came, and Errol was like the dancing bear. They would put Errol up, and he'd do his dance. Phenomenal talk, phenomenal story, and he was so focused. He had a great story. He was getting people to join the community, and he was actually doing the work, because the message was, if this 21-year-old kid can do it, why can't you? And he was actually doing it, and he was live and in person. So I started rocking with him and said, okay, if I'm going to learn from him. I didn't know real estate. I didn't know wholesaling. I didn't know any of that, banning science. I sat with Errol, and he taught me his system. I learned from I don't know how, 40, 50 at the time. I learned from a 21-year-old how to do real estate.
Yeah.
And I have no problem saying that because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I learned from someone who was actually doing it efficiently and very well.
Yeah.
And I learned the system, I learned the flow, and we started working together. We created a training platform together. And then when the home base didn't want to sign the check for us to be like they were supposed to, then we just stayed, kept working. And then my people called me to St. Louis, was like, Dre, what are you doing? I said, I'm in Atlanta selling real estate. They said, no, you're not. I said, that's dead. And they took me off the real estate path and put me back on helping people path.
Oh, wow.
So they were like, that's not what you were created to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can do things that make money, because he was making a lot of money. We started making money. And then there's some things you can do things that help people.
Yeah.
And when I leave this planet, how many houses or how many cars, it's not going to matter. It's how many people did I help?
Yeah.
How many lives did I restore?
Yeah.
How many people did I give a voice to?
Yeah.
So that's for me. Other people want money, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I want to end this because I can't take none of it with me. My son is healthy. He's going to a great school. He has everything that he wants. I'm saying, what do I need beyond that? I'm still going to make money. I'm still going to travel the world. I'm about to go to Kenya, do a bunch of $1 million deals. But I'm going to make money, not for the sake of making money. Is you reinvest it in some form of fashion.
Yeah.
There's no, when I walked in early, he was like, yo, man, the homie, I don't know who the guy was. Some guy that was here was like, his friend does speaking, and can I help him? I said, call him. Call him. You know what I'm saying? And I got on the phone, and I said, boo, talk to him. Yeah. Get my number. Call me later today, and I'll help you plan out the whole thing.
Wow.
And that, my good friends and viewers, is the one of one, Mr. Andre Norman. If you want people to connect with you in your ecosystem, what do you give them? Anything? Nothing? I mean, I know you don't. I know you don't need it. That's what I'm saying. Like Instagram,
Call me for what?
Instagram, YouTube channel.
Catch me in Kenya. Catch
me if you can.
Know where I see people? I used to in the airport. But if you're in the Delta Lounge or the Amex Lounge,
Sky Club, yeah.
You ain't in the Sky Club, you ain't gonna see me in the airport unless you catch me coming through security.
Yeah.
If you ain't got facial recognition, TSA pre-check and clear.
You're
in the wrong line. If people want to reach out, man, my Instagram is my name, Andre Norman. Do not get mad because I don't manage it. I check it on occasion just for fun. You know what I'm saying, but I'm not social media. I put stuff up there to encourage people. I'm not going there to make friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, so if you want to see me in real time, you got to come through this platform.
Yeah. Because
I know y'all have meetups, y'all get together, you have a community. So you see me more at his community event than you will my community event, because my community events are telling me out of the country on real. I was down there with the governor. There was like all kinds of his state police were surrounding the
top
building.
levels. Yeah,
they know. Dude's like, "Yo, you speaking? Can I come?" I'm like, "Nah,
not that type of party. Nope."
They do vetting first.
Yep.
The events I go to, when I go to Neck Island, Richard Branson and like 30 other billionaires, you just can't pull up.
Yep.
You just can't pull up with people everywhere. But I brought you to St. Louis.
Yep,
I bring you to places, but I knew you, and I knew I could trust you to be around certain types of people and act right, except for the phone call thing.
Well, hey, that's how you learn. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Getting in the room and staying in the room.
Yes.
People don't get that. They think they can. And please, one tip for speakers. One tip. Hi, what's your name? My name's Andre. I grew up in the city. My mom got hit by a bus. This happened, that happened. I went to jail. I got ran over. Do not throw your life story up on someone and say hello. Stop that. That is like the craziest thing ever. I say, hi, how you doing? I'm like 20 minutes later, say, you just gave me a whole keynote speech. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Contact Errol, contact Lady J. We will teach you how to speak effectively, communicate, and how to get paid, share your message, help people travel the world, all that stuff. But stop throwing it on people. When I say, hey, how you doing? And they're like 10 minutes later, I'm like, are you done yet? I'm like, dude, I just said hi. All I said was hi, man. I'm hearing about all this tragedy in your life.
I had somebody pull out their phone, and after I spoke it somewhere, and they showed me their husband in the hospital bed convulsing. I was like, at no point do I think he wants you showing me that. Right?
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
I don't need to
feel
see
my
that.
pain. That's how people communicate through pain.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you how to communicate through love.
Yeah.
That heals pain.
So one last question. What has been an inspirational book? I know you said you have a book, and if you can tell people how to find your book, but what has been an inspirational book?
Book list. My book is Andre Norman, The Ambassador of Hope. Okay. That's on Amazon. It's like $12. Audiobook's out. Then the next book I would recommend, if you're in business, entrepreneurs, is Dan Sullivan and Ben Hardy, Who Not How. Those I literally was at Dan Sullivan yesterday.
Yeah.
Next book is, if you're trying to negotiate and figure out how to speak effectively and strongly, is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. We flew out yesterday. We were together yet. We were all together. This is like 8 hours with yesterday.
These are your friends' books.
These are my friends. I don't recommend strangers. Then there's Joe Polish's book, What's in It for Them.
Okay.
I'm saying that's like how to be a great person. When you do a deal, your question is not what's in it for me, but what's in it for them. That's a Joe Polish book. Who else do I got? Average Sucks by Michael Burnoff.
Okay.
So many people strive to think average is okay.
Yeah.
So Average Sucks by Michael Burnoff. Then my favorite book of all time, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen.
Woo!
Don't worry. These are all great recommendations, and I appreciate them. You did not say anything wrong because she was waiting for The Alchemist.
I got one book I forgot.
Go ahead.
The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham.
I haven't read that.
Most of you have read Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yep.
Yes.
Rich Dad is Keith Cunningham. He's a great man, a personal friend. He's a great guy. Robert Kiyosaki was his mentee, or whatever the term was. And then he wrote a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is based on Keith Cunningham's life.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to get that
And
one.
Keith Cunningham is a phenomenal human being. His wife is a phenomenal wife, great family. And he wrote a book called The Road Less Stupid, which explains how to be a boss in real time. So definitely get Keith. And again, these are, the greatest part for me is I get to sit down with these people. So like you read the book, no, I hang out with them for lunch.
Like you put me on the phone with the author of one of them. I was like, dang, that's crazy.
You name a book, I can get the author on the phone.
Oh, wow.
I'm saying so.
Wow.
So I mean, and anybody who knows me, they will tell you, Andre plugs me into stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I got people I plug in stuff that don't show up, and I still plug them in.
Yeah.
I invited a brother to go to Nashville with me to meet Kathy Ireland and Dan Sullivan and Chris Ross and Joe Polish. They were all there. They were all there yesterday. I invited some people to go with me, free of charge. Yeah. There's an annual event that Joe Polish has called the Genius Network Annual Event, where the top of the top, I was with Robert Kennedy, Damon John. I bring like 8 people every year with me at no charge. It's a $12,000 ticket. They get to come in, backstage, meet people. I was at the Mercedes-Benz Dome with, what's his name? Mr. Wonderful from the Shark Tank, David Goggins, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're all backstage. I invite people to come out. And I don't charge people. I want people to, hey, if I'm in the room, I want you to be in the room. I go to conferences, you name a mastermind or wealth group, I know the owner of it.
Yeah.
And we're good friends, and they let me come, and I bring people. I don't bring 30, I bring people. I might be 1 or 2, but I bring people.
And it's strategic.
I just want, hey, I remember Dave Shands. Shout out to Dave Shands.
Yep.
I went to the annual event for Genius Network. I said, yo, man, give me some of your people from your morning meetup. And he gave me a couple of people, and I just took them. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, Dave's a good person. I believe in Dave.
Yeah.
So if you with Dave and I get a chance to bless Dave through blessing you, then I do it.
Oh, yeah. He helped us. Yeah. Oh, he's a beautiful person.
Dave's my guy.
Yes, Jessica.
I love it. No, Alchemist. It's okay. I'm okay. I'll get over it. Alchemist is one of my favorite books, and a lot of people.
That sounds personal.
A lot of people.
So there
that
you
come,
go, throwing up on me. I didn't ask about the Alchemist.
You know,
That's what. No,
they
you
love
telling
it.
me that's high. There you go. I did not ask about anybody. I asked my book list, right?
Yeah.
Was it my book? That's exactly what people do. She said, "Oh, look at my husband in the bed." Here you go.
True.
You doing the
I'll
same
take that.
thing in your
I'll
own
take
variation.
that. And everybody does the same thing. Honestly, you're a microcosm of everything you see. Like it's
But
a
then you have to
fractal.
let go of the stuff.
Yeah.
Projected
you're right.
weakness.
Okay. Well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of All Things Entrepreneur. Hopefully you were inspired by today. I know I was. I'm going to go back and look, take notes. And if you like more of this content, be sure to like and subscribe below. As always.
Hold on. Listen, if you got to ask these people to like and subscribe, kick them off your channel.
Okay.
If they can't do the right thing, bump them, man. I mean, listen, go where you feel comfortable.
Well, what he said.
If you ain't down with the free content and the free knowledge and the free sharing and the consistency is showing up at no cost, the only cost you got to hit a button that says subscribe and like. That's it. And hit the little bell thing. If that's all you, you know how much money I charge to talk? If they can't hit a bell, then bump them.
Well, you know what? If you ain't liking or subscribing, then don't even tune in.
Don't listen. Yo, how do I get anybody who reaches out that wants me, if they ain't subscribed and got the bell tool, don't even call me.
Y'all heard it here first.
It ain't even worth it.
If you can't support the people who put you on, then you're going to do the same thing to me.
Yeah. Yeah. That part.
Well, then with that being said, then, Jessica.
You know, you got it. Let's get it.
Let's go.
go.